All right, so I really wanted to record this review in the salon since I've been a hairdresser for a long, long, long time. And how often do I talk about a movie about hairdressers? Never. I don't think I've ever done it. Have I? If I have, I'm not remembering it off the top of my head, and that's all right. So, The Stylist, a film that I was quite looking forward to, having been in the industry for my literal entire life. My dad's been a hairdresser since before I was born. I grew up in salons, and now I've been a hairdresser for 17 years. So I was really looking forward to this. I've always wanted to see a horror movie dealing with a hairstylist. Now, there's that like Barber movie or something with Malcolm McDowell. I actually own that. I need to watch it at some point. And then there's like Sweeney Todd, something like that. But this just looked right up my alley. Like just from the poster and some stills that I saw and whatnot, I was like, oh, this looks like Maniac. And as far as this film's plot synopsis goes, it's a young, beautiful stylist, hairstylist, and she, let's see. The plot's so fucking like bare bones. There's not really much that goes on, so it's hard to say I would spoil anything by saying anything. But all I can say is that she takes trophies, and it emulates Maniac. You know what I'm talking about. So that's what's going on here. But with her character, of course, it's psychological, right? There's some kind of trauma there, and that's where I feel like the film kind of fails a little bit, is with the psychological trauma aspect and what all that even means and why that came to be. Now, it's okay to leave that kind of stuff vague and let the audience fill that in. I just wish that we had seen a little bit deeper into her psychosis. Maybe see some hallucinations or some flashbacks or something. Her character also is a little too meek for me. And I get it because this movie felt like a blend between Starry Eyes and Maniac. And I love both of those films, especially the Elijah Wood 2013, 2012 Maniac, 2012, I think. Yeah, I think it came out in 2013 on DVD and Blu-ray and whatnot, but it was like 2012 when it was in the festivals. I don't know, whatever, doesn't matter. Whatever year it was, doesn't really matter. Big fan of Starry Eyes, big fan of Maniac. So to kind of get like Alex Esso's character and to emulate it here, that kind of quirky, awkward girl who isn't really good at talking with people, and and then you've kind of got the Frank, right? That's his name, right? Frank in Maniac. You've got that character who is taking these trophies for his own, or in this case, her own kind of fantasy that she's living out by taking these trophies. I liked that, I thought that this film worked very well with its portrayal of that, and I thought there was some fairly gruesome scenes. Now the film isn't overly graphic or anything, but I feel like what we do get is effective on how it is done and portrayed on the screen. So, and it is shown, and that's cool, and I like that about the film. We got Bree Grant in here, which I actually watched 2 Bree Grant horror movies right in a row. I watched this and Lucky on Shudder, which I'll be reviewing next. And I think the performances are good. I think both of them good performances. I just feel like there should have just been a little bit more to it, and I've already kind of said what I think that should have been. It should have been a deeper exploration, because this is a film that focuses on its antagonist. We get a decent amount of those, and when you do that, I think you either need to go all in with the kills, or you need to make it a deeper psychological study of this character, seeing what drives them, seeing what made them how they are, and seeing through their eyes what they're seeing. Those are things that I feel like are just lacking in this portrayal of mental illness as this girl has. And the ending you can see coming as soon as it happens. You're like, oh, this is what's happening here, and this is what's going to happen here. And that's what I wanted to happen there. So when it did happen, even though I had assumed that's what was going to happen, like anyone would, I was still pretty happy with it, being like, yeah, that's the way it should have ended. That's exactly what this was leading up to. Perfect. Okay, good conclusion. You know, you can guess it. That's okay, though, as long as it makes sense to the film and it's a good conclusion and it's well done. I do think that the girl's performance, the main, as I'd kind of already stated a little bit by saying Brie Grant and her do give good performances, I think she gives a great performance. It's just that it needs to be more in depth. We need to explore it more. We need to get more into her head. I beat this enough. I just think that that's the quote-unquote failure of the film. But overall, I liked it. You know, I enjoyed my time with it. And of course, as a hairdresser, I had to pay attention to the hairdressing aspects of the film. And they definitely had real hairstylists in the background. That's for sure. I saw some techniques going on back there that I'm not typically seeing in any hair salon scenes in film. The worst I've ever seen in my life by far is in Final Destination 4. Like the Final Destination, the one where she goes to the hair salon and they're like literally like chunking hair, but with their scissors. Oh my god, it's fucking horrible. It is not even slightly realistic to hairdressing at all. But I saw some like deep parallel point cutting, and I saw some techniques that I was like, oh, okay, those are like legit hairdressers in the background. It has to be. So I had to be paying attention to that kind of stuff, and I did find it kind of funny. Like there's multiple things as a hairdresser that you're looking at. You're like, really? Like she's really doing this? It wasn't bad, honestly. I thought it was actually done pretty well. So I think that they consulted, or maybe she has, you know, maybe she went to beauty school. Maybe she's a hairdresser. I don't fucking know. But, you know, I appreciate it, you know. They took their quad sections for a root retouch, and she was using fucking, oh God, what are those even called? Like the little, not gator clips, but God, I can't, butterfly clips? Those things? Oh, Jesus Christ. Who the fuck uses those anymore? But yeah, I have to talk about this shit, because how often do I get to even discuss my job on here? But I thought it was really funny that Brie Grant's character comes to her and she's like, oh my God, you got to do my hair, this and that. And then she does like the most basic updo on earth. Like she just puts curls in it, and then she just does like a half up, half down thing where she just kind of like braids in a little braid back here, and she's like, oh my God, you're a miracle worker. Oh my God, you saved my wedding. Oh my God, you're the best. And everyone's like, oh my God, your hair's so amazing, you're so beautiful, and this and that. I'm looking at it like, that's like the most basic ass updo you could ever do in your life. That was pretty funny. Like, you would expect something super elaborate, something fucking, you know, really, really well done. It's a pretty updo. Don't get me wrong. It's just super basic. Super, super basic. But whatever. Anyways, I'm done with that. I just had to point those kinds of things out. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed it. And it's a worthy, it's a good entry into the very, very small pool of hairdressing horror movies, which I've, you know, always wanted to see some of, for obvious reasons. But I dug it. I thought, you know, it's lower budget and it's not going to be for everyone, but, and I was, you know, there was an entertainment value to it for me, just having her doing hairdressing. And her first consultation with that girl's fucking laughable. This girl has never met her before, and she's like, oh, I just want a root retouch, and I just want like a trim. Okay, you need to specify like what the root retouch is. You need to go in, you need to pull it apart. Like, it's not realistic in the fucking slightest. The consultation is hilarious. That's okay. And some fucking hairdressers are actually like that, so maybe it is realistic. You can just be like, okay, and just go back and start mixing shit up, but you're not going to be a very good hairdresser if you don't consult with them better than that like 4-second consultation. With a new client, if she was like a client she's done before multiple times, 100%, that's exactly how it would be. Oh, just, I need to retouch the roots and, just the basic, the everyday trim you give me every time I come in. Okay, cool. Boom. I know your formula. I'm good to go. Anyways, I'm done. Just hairdressing. It's fun to talk about. Adios. Let me know.